Really well. Obviously, we learnt a lot of lessons last year. We came a little bit undercooked. We have to get used to the altitude and the temperature. Obviously, it's not quite the same in England. So, yeah, we're getting used to it, and I think we're pretty much there now. Light session tomorrow, and then big game on Wednesday.
Now, what about the kickers on the team? Are they enjoying a little bit of thinner air? Are they seeing a little bit of pop on their kicks?
Yeah, they're getting plenty of distance, but the guys thrown into the line out are obviously struggling. They're trying to tone it down a little bit to hit their target. So yeah, we're getting used to it, and it's a bit different.
For one of the first times in the Churchill Cup, you guys have the short turnaround of a Wednesday to a Sunday. Now, normally that shouldn't be a worry, but with high temperatures and things like that, will you be approaching player management a little different in that game?
I think there's an element of player management, but I think there's also a case of really looking after ourselves. Obviously, the old adages of hydration and plenty of rest. I can't imagine us doing a lot of training between the two games, so we need to make sure what we do is really accurate. So, yeah, we're going to make sure that we look after ourselves in that 4 or 5 day period.
What about the aspect of playing the Russians for the first time ever in England side? That's got to be a little exciting.
Yeah, it is. First time there, and obviously they're a great side, qualify for the World Cup, and we need to make sure we hit our straps. They've got some talented individuals, so we need to make sure that we're fully aware of the threat they have.
How much is the sting of losing the championship last year to Ireland in the manner you did? Is that over the heads of a lot of guys from last year?
Yeah, I think that's an element of it. Certainly I played last year and it hurt very much, and I think this year certainly we've got a point to prove to try and get that back and get over the disappointment of that defeat. That was a big defeat for us, and it's something that that psychologically we need to bounce back from.
And we'll have great preparation this week. Good luck on Wednesday.
Thanks so much. Cheers.
So Stuart, having the extra preparation time on the ground, is it having a net benefit for this team?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. We arrived last year and within 4 days we were playing, and certainly we found to our cost the altitude, the heat was something we needed to get used to. So to have the extra time is a bonus in one way. Obviously it gives you more time for preparation, but obviously cuts down your game time between game 1 and 2. So it's pros and cons, but I think we prefer it this way.
Now, talking about the turnaround time, this is the first time that I can remember in a Churchill Cup you've got the short end of the straw in terms of that. How does that change your approach as to player selection, amount of time players are going to get in that first game?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it significantly affects it. You've got to make sure you've got a fresh side for the game 2 as well. And our philosophy on selection is about giving lads opportunity. It's a development tour for us, but also we want to win it. So we want to make sure that we give lads an opportunity to play rugby. So lads that aren't necessarily involved in the first game should get game time in game 2.
Coaches never like to talk about history, but it's come time and time again about the manner in which you lost to Ireland last year, and so it's got to be a big thing hanging over this team.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say it's hanging over the team. There's only 7 players who were here last year, so it's a significantly different squad. But certainly, we learned some lessons last year, and it's important that we move on from there. So yeah, it was disappointing, but as I say, we played Ireland again in the Six Nations and we beat them at home, so we felt we got a bit of a revenge there.
Sure. Now, with the senior side on tour in Australia, does that always make the boys a little sharper? This isn't just a summer vacation, one injury, and they could be getting a phone call?
Yeah, I think so. But ultimately, I think we've got to control what we control in this environment. Yeah, I'm sure the guys have got one eye on Australia, and there's some big game coming up tomorrow night for them. So, for us, it's about focusing on Russia and that game first and foremost.
Speaking of Russia, a familiar face on the other side of the pitch, and Steve Diamond. You've seen him develop with that team. You knew him on the Saxons and within the England setup. It must be kind of a weird feeling taking him on now.
Well, yeah, I don't know Steve that well. I actually know Henry Paul, who is coaching the backs a bit better. I signed him to come to Leeds as a director of rugby, and but yeah, it is. Obviously for those two, it'll be tremendous motivation, I'm sure, to play against England. So we certainly won't be taking them lightly.
And what did you make of the opening match with USA and Russia?
It was a great game, to be honest. And I thought, to be honest, Russia were a little bit unfortunate to have the scoreline they did. I think there was a lot to choose between the two sides, and a couple of breakaways from the USA, which they took well, to be fair. But no, there wasn't a lot to choose between the two sides, and I'm sure Russia will be out to improve on that performance against us.
I hope you have much success in Denver and enjoy your time here.
Thank you. Cheers.
So, Fabien, first of all, welcome to Denver. How are you liking it so far?
Very good, very good. We are on a beautiful town, and the weather is fine. And I think to play rugby, it's very good.
It's like a French summer, yes?
Yes, like a French summer. without the sea, of course.
Okay, and what about the altitude? You're at 5,000 feet. Do you find the players are feeling the effects?
Yeah. The hot weather and the altitude is a little bit difficult for the players, but all the team are on the same. It's the same for the team. So for the match, I think it's no consequence for the result.
For Uruguay, will you pick a younger side to see what they can handle since the gap is quite large?
Yeah, of course. We have the gap of the top 14, and the gap over is the équipe de France. So this is the gap between the big équipe de France and the top 14.
And do you look at this tournament? You must want to win this, especially with England being in it. You have big plans for that?
Not especially for because of England, but yes, when French team go in a competition, it is all the time to win, of course.
Okay, well, bonne chance et bienvenue à États-Unis.
Merci beaucoup.